Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Catch the Moon.
This is from Cosmos. The designers are Fabian Rafaud and Juan Rodriguez. Basically, in this game, you are trying to catch the moon. You are building these ladders as high as possible, trying to get to the moon. Yeah. This is a dexterity stacking game with these oddball-sized and shaped ladders. Let me give you a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Catch the Moon. We've got our cloud, along with 2 starting ladders. We also have a giant pile of miscellaneously shaped ladders, and over here we have our raindrops. Our raindrops are basically mistakes. We do not want to collect those. There is a competitive and a cooperative way to play. The competitive way, basically what's going to happen is, on your turn, you're going to roll a die. It's basically going to give you one of 3 results. Either, this die result right here says you need to be touching exactly only one other ladder. This result says you need to be touching exactly 2 other ladders. And that result says you need to be having your ladder that you place be the highest ladder out of the entire structure. So on your turn, you're going to roll a die, and based off the result, you're going to grab a ladder out of the pile here, and you are going to add it in some way onto these starter ladders. So if we rolled a 1, we can only be touching 1 ladder. We could put it in something like that. If we were doing 2 ladders, we could maybe have it like this, so it's touching 2 ladders at the same time. If we need to be the highest ladder, when we grab a ladder, you basically do whatever you want to try to make it so that you are the highest ladder in the structure. We're going to keep on going until something happens. Either someone breaks a rule by touching too many ladders, or something falls off. At that point, that person grabs one of the raindrops. You kind of clear away the ones that have fallen over, and you keep on going. Once all the raindrops have been handed out, basically whoever has the fewest amount of raindrops is going to win the game. If there's ever a tie and there's still some ladders left, you keep on going. Basically, the tied players play a final round. The die isn't rolled anymore, but instead, basically being the highest result, basically the moon die result, is what you're trying to do from here on out. You take turns, keep on going until one person cannot go anymore, until they make a mistake. The last player remaining wins the game. The cooperative version of the game works basically the exact same way. You're still doing the exact same thing as far as building your towers, but instead of trying to get everybody else to fail and you just being the last person standing, what you're doing is you're going to take the game box, you're going to set it next to the board. You're going to score after all 7 of those raindrops have been used up. How many of the ladders are above the game box here is basically going to be how many points you get. If you have a ladder that is in some way partially higher than the game box here, you're going to get 1 point for that. But if you're able to build it high enough to where a ladder is completely above the game box, that's worth 3 points. So at the end of the game, you are going to score up how many ladders you have that meet those parameters. You're going to get a score, and based off of that score, you're going to see how well you did on the achievement chart. If you can get 9 or more points, that's considered exceptional. So that is pretty hard to do the cooperative mode.
There are 2 very viable modes of playing this game. There is competitive and there is cooperative. And in the competitive version, it's really fun because you're trying to set people up. You're trying to make it so they're going to take the raindrop. You're trying to do weird things so it's like inevitable that they're going to fail. But what you don't know is that you are horrible at dexterity games, and eventually it's going to be your turn again, and what you tried to do is going to come back to haunt you. Then also there is cooperative, which I don't think I've ever... It's been a long time since I laughed that hard playing a game because we're risking it. We're like, we can be higher than the box. We can totally do it. And Ryan's like, no, Bethany, we can't. We can't. Like, you don't know you as well as I know you. We can't get it.
You have to be a lot more strategic and do a lot more planning. Set the other people up for success instead of failure.
So with only there being, the ladders as components, and even though the game is like the exact same, it's so different with this competitive and cooperative mode. Both super fun.
Yeah, Bethany mentions that only in real competitive components to this game are the ladders, but they're so cool, right? They're just all these oddball-sized shapes they do. They're not straight at all. They're like kind of zigzaggy. Some of them are missing rungs out of them. All the rungs are not parallel. They're all kinds of cattywampus.
Cattywampus. That's just such a fun word. Okay, before Ryan continues, I want to know what your favorite word cattywampus is that you just like to say, not a swear word, but just a really fun word like that. Let me know in the comments below because I'm just really interested. People have those words that they
I'll
like
add
to
it to
say.
my lexicon and say it in a review.
I say peachy keen all the time. I say it all the time at work, and people think I'm being sarcastic, but I'm being totally serious. It's true. It's true.
It is true.
Yeah, okay. You can carry on with the ladders.
Thank you so much. Yes, this is basically, I just loved how bizarre and weird these ladders are. And you never know what you're going to get. You're supposed to take them blindly, right? You're not supposed to, look in the box and study which one. Oh,
not that it would help you.
That one's perfect for what I'm doing. No, you're supposed to just take one and then just go with it. And I love how you never really know what you're going to have to be able to work with until you're holding it in your hand and looking at it. And so that's a lot of fun.
The table presence of this is just phenomenal. It looks so cool on the table. This is one of the games that if you're at a convention or if you're at a game store and you see somebody playing this, you are automatically going to look. You're automatically going to be curious because it just looks so cool to see all these ladders, these weird shaped ladders stacked in a super weird way. It's extremely eye-catching.
This is kind of pitched to me as if it was a kid's game, right? It's a kid's stacking game. They stack ladders. Okay, cool. But it ends up being a lot more than that. You can play it as a kid's game, and what I've found is kids are terrible with figuring out weight distribution, but it doesn't matter.
It totally doesn't.
They are just super, super lucky. They're just put it there. And it doesn't be it just stays, and it's how am I supposed to play off of that? Well, then, same thing. If you're playing with adults take this very seriously from my experience. They're studying every angle. I'm well, if I put this here, it needs to be 50% this way. You need to stack it just the right way, and it needs to be touching only just the right things, and it needs to be setting up for the future in whatever way, whether I want to be attacking or defensive.
And then I fail and get a raindrop.
But the point is, the way that people approach this game is different based off whether they're kids or grumps, in my experience. And they're both a lot of fun to play with. It doesn't have to be a kid's game. I can see a group of, just grown-ups, our gaming group, just getting a huge kick out of this, trying to strategize and figure out the best way to stack these ladders.
So, overall, I feel like I have my new coffee date game. This is a game that I now want to choose when we go out on our little coffee dates. It's so fun. It still doesn't take up a ton of space. You still have to have the cloud that you're stacking on in the box that you're pulling, but still, it's not that bad. And if you're just drinking coffee and not croissants or anything, you're totally good. But I just think that the table presence of that out and about, out in the wild, would just be so much fun, and just laughing and giggling, because you will definitely laugh and giggle. You might, can you do that at the same time? Can you laugh and giggle? Are they so distinct?
I think that laughing is a broad category, of which giggling is just one aspect.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. But this is definitely the new game that for me is going to be a go-to coffee date game.
Yeah, you guys, I enjoy stacking games as it is. They're not my favorite mechanism, but at the same time, every time I see one, I enjoy it. What I'm looking for is something unique and something with a cool theme, if there is a theme involved. And this one had that. It was a unique theme, it was unique mechanisms, and it was unique components. So overall, this is a hit for me. I enjoy stacking games. This is the one that's going to be the one I take out every time someone says, oh, you got a quick game that, I don't have to teach a lot of rules for this. I'm just ready to go. This is the one I'm taking out every time.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can follow us in all of these places.
Yes, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.